Hello everyone, a very warm welcome again to the virtual session of Science Children. I hope you all are doing very well. So let us continue with the session with the chapter Soil, chapter 9, part 3. In this session we are going to see particle size in sand, silt and clay. So today's subtopic you are going to take down in your notebook, particle size in sand, silt and clay. Let us see over here. You can see on the screen the particle size of sand. This image should give you a clear picture about the particle size of the sand. You can see, and it is magnified and can be seen over here. The particle size is 0.05 millimeter to 2 mm. Quite large, quite big size. Then silt, you can see it is magnified. On the screen you can see under magnification the particle size lies between 0.002 mm to 0.05 mm. So here you can see smaller than the sand size part of the particles. You can see of the soil silt smaller than the sand. Then you can come to clay. Here you can see it is smaller than 0.002 mm. Hence you can compare the particle size of the sand, silt and clay, and you can have some rough idea about the particle size of all this soil. I hope this is clear with you. Let us see properties of soil. Since we are learning about the soil, let us see some very important properties of the soil which makes them so useful for us, which makes them so much useful for the living organisms. Let us see. You have to take down all these points in your notebook. First one, percolation of water through the soil. Water percolating means water seeping in the soil. Water finding ways in the soil. That is water percolation. Percolation can be defined as the property of the soil by which it allows the flow of water through it. So please take down this, the definition. It is the property of the soil by which it allows the flow of water through it. Different types of soil will have different percolation rate, different way of percolating water. So the rate at which water percolates or move through the soil may vary in different kinds of soil, as I told you. So it will be different for different types of soil. Some soil will absorb water while others allow it to flow through them. And the rate of percolation can be calculated by the following. I hope you'll have taken down this. So let us see how can we calculate the rate of percolation of water through the soil. Can be given by the formula percolation rate in ml per minute is equal to amount of water in ml upon percolation time in minute. So this is a percolation rate, that is the amount of water that in milliliter which can be allowed by the soil in a percolation time, given time, that is in minute. That becomes the percolation rate. Please take down this formula, children. Now here you see how water can percolate, percolation of water inside the soil, because it has pores inside. The particle size, it depends upon the particle size, and between the particles you will have some space in between. That will allow water to move inside, and this is how water will percolate inside through the soil. Second property of the soil, moisture. Moisture is the amount of water that is present in the soil. Even a dry soil has some amount of moisture in the air. So, however, the clay soil has the highest content of moisture. So, clay type of soil will has the highest content of moisture. And why air above farmland appears shimmering during the daytime? Because we know that soil contains water, and due to the sunlight, the water from the soil begins to evaporate and turn into water vapor. This water vapor When get reflected by the sunlight, it appears shiny, and hence the air above the soil makes the land look shimmery. So, under this concept of moisture, you may have this kind of question where you should understand why the air above the farmland appears shimmering during the daytime. Under the moisture concept, you need to understand this question. Please take this down. Then, third property of a soil, since you are learning about the properties of soil, is absorption. A very important property of the soil. Every soil has a water absorption capacity, as we have discussed water holding capacity, and it depends upon the how porous the soil is. Clay and loamy soil are most porous. Lots of pores between the particles, lots of space between the particles are porous, hence can retain water in large quantities. So they can retain water, they're porous, but at the same time, the space between the particles are not that much, so that air can completely, water can completely percolate. Water can completely move out. They have a good water holding capacity. So it has a adequate amount of space in between, so that water will not move out, but at the same time it can hold it. This is why crops can grow over these soils. Sandy soils, on the other hand, do not absorb water and hence do not support much vegetation. So these are the absorption properties of the different soils. Then texture, the texture is the size of the particles of the soil. Different kinds of soils have different texture. We have seen the particle size in the beginning of the session, children. Then you let us see about the color. Different soil have different colors as well. This is because of the minerals and nutrients present in them. For instance, some soil are black in color because of lots of humus and minerals, as we have discussed, while some are red in color because they have large amount of iron content in them. So because of the large amount of iron quantities in them, they are red in color. You see a red color soil, you can easily make out, you can easily find out that it has a large amount of iron content in it. Then the sixth property, pH of soil, we are learning. Soil can have different pH depending how acidic or basic or neutral a soil is. That is the pH of soil actually. So soils can have a different pH. Soil can be very acidic, it can be very basic or mildly basic or neutral. Any type, any nature it can have. It depends upon the acidic, basic or neutral nature. It is based upon the pH of different types of crops grow in the soil. So based upon the pH, you have to check for the pH before you start cultivating a crops on a field, because if the pH is too high, it won't be suitable for certain types of crops. If it is highly basic, it will not be suitable for certain crops, or if it is highly acidic, it won't be suitable for some crops. So it will not be feasible. That's why checking of the pH of the soil before you actually go for cultivation of the crop or sowing the seeds, you have to take care of the pH of the soil. You have to check the pH of the soil, and if it is not optimum, then you can neutralize the acidic and the basic effect by some means. Then air content. Since soil is made up of particles of different sizes, these particles can be loosely bound or tightly bound. The air often occupies a space in between these particles. This allows life to sustain in the soil, such as microorganisms. So because of the air content, you can see the air often occupies the space in between the particles, and it will help for the microorganisms to grow. Here you can see different types of soil, different color, different texture. They will have different pH. Size of the particles will differ. Water holding capacity will be different. All that you can see. Water absorption capacity will be different. Percolation rate of each of the soil will be different. So you can see the varieties of soil over here, children, and see the texture and the color. Such a beautiful colorful soil you have over here. Thank you, children. Have a wonderful day.